I feel like dying sometimes. Welcome to my channel, The Hipster Wolf, or whatever you want to call it. Now, I remember I said in the last video that I talked about the PSATs all the time and said how much I didn't exactly enjoy the experience of it. Well, today I'm going to tell you about more schools, and you're going to cry regardless. So, just to kind of be honest, I am a member of Student Council, and just to kind of be honest, I don't know whether to think it's either incredibly stupid, incredibly useless, or incredibly useful, or incredibly not useless. Now, what I mean is that Student Council in my school is incredibly basic. I'm not saying it's the most important thing in our school, but it's one of the reasons why any of our fundraisers are even a thing in school. So, continuing on, what I mean about Student Council is that I strictly wanted to go into Student Council just because I'm a very outspoken person, which I think is kind of an issue with me being in school, because because in school I intentionally act like filthy Frank sometimes, and I think that's why I never have a girlfriend. Anyways, so the thing about Student Council is that there's these 5 people, and it's all divided up into different grades, and usually everyone gives a speech, and everyone's usually voted by both faculty and students, just so that they can run in a race and become a member of Student Council. And Student Council is divided up by all grades of junior high, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, which I don't know if 5th grade was considered junior high. I did not know that. Well, anyways, I guess being run by a bunch of 10-year-olds is a pretty smart idea. Oh, rural Illinois, I love you so much. You guys are awesome. So the thing about it is, continuing on, I was selected to be one of the 5 kids in my 8th grade. And yes, I am in that grade currently. But the thing about it is, when I got selected, there's a couple of other kids, and I'm just gonna call them Sore General, Sore Tensor, Sore Crude, Red Nuda, and Professor Hot Dog's son. Yeah, Professor Hot Dog. So the thing about it is that Sore General, which was this girl, she's technically the president of Student Council, which she's probably like one of the most like emotionless kids in our entire grade. Like, I swear, like she grew up in like Chernobyl or something. Like, she was born with literally no, like, I consider that she is a robot. Like, I consider that she's a synth from Fallout 4. You know, freaking Nick Valentine going on there solving some crimes, finding out which girls are real and which girls are not. I'm just joking, Nick, you know I love you. The thing about it is that I swear this girl is the most emotionless person I think I've ever met in my life. She literally even talks in a monotone voice, and she's literally my exact same age. And she's like one of those soccer kids who acts like she's better than everyone else, which is just kind of an annoyance, but whatever. And so in Student Council there was me, Sore Nuda, and then there was Sore General, which was the girl, then there was Sore Tensor, which was my friend Sam, and there was a couple of other kids. There was my friend Ashley, who I like to call Thick Woman, even though she's very nice and she's a very good student. She's very smart. I call her Thick Chick for some reason, which I think is just kind of represent her name. My other friend Derek, who is in the special needs class, and he is also a very good kid. And then there's also Shelby, which is basically me if I was a girl, essentially, and if I was blonde, and if I was completely insane. So, so continuing on, basically what we do in Student Council is that we either come up with a bunch of ideas for fundraisers and stuff like that, and honestly, this is the part of Student Council that makes me debate whether I should, like, debate my sanity or not. It's just, the sheer idea of Student Council, I mean, I'm not saying that's all that terrible, okay? It's actually not bad. It can be fun. But mostly what we do is that we either work concession stands or come up with ideas for fundraisers and stuff like that, because recently we've been talking with this other teacher out in Houston, Texas, and think about it, she's really nice and everything, and she was a music/choir teacher, and all of her music got pretty much destroyed in the floodwater. So our duty was to save up enough money so she could buy more music for her class. So we decided to take the liberties of basically helping this teacher out in Texas, which is a state and a school that we're completely not affiliated with, continue on with this, and we're just like, you know what, yeah, let's just help this girl. I mean, we're a nice school anyway. Yeah, we could so be using money on stuff we can use for our school, but let's waste thousands and thousands of dollars of our citizens' taxpayers' money so we can buy stupid crap we don't even need. I just love my school. They're really nice people, I swear, they're good people. So continuing on, is that mostly what we do is we either work concession stands, or we just, like I said before, we just come up with fundraisers. And I am the one person who usually goes to concession stands. And the thing about it is that working concession stands is basically standing in a room for 2 hours with being next to a popcorn machine. And listen, when we started doing when we were starting doing Student Council, it was like right at the end of summer, and it was probably one of the hottest part of the year. And listen, and where we live in the United States, it's still kind of hot out here. So the fact that you're in a building that doesn't really have very much air conditioning as is, and you're in a small room that's like literally a quarter smaller than my room. Like, let's just say it's probably about 3 or 4 times bigger than the size of your average broom closet. And the fact that you're standing in there with a bunch of candy and a live popcorn machine that is so like unbelievably hot. It was probably about 120 degrees in just that one room. It's just an absolute friggin' nightmare. And the thing about it is, it's not all that horrible, but the thing about it is that mostly it has something to do with our basketball games, and usually it's like they gotta make a huge deal about it. Well, really, it's just a normal basketball game. It's like, why would you just normal basketball game? It's just weird. So the thing about it is that after when we got done with the concession stands, you know, like I'm like the one kid that likes going to concession stands the most, because I mean I like working. You know, when I work, it makes me feel like I accomplished something, which is I think something that most kids don't have anymore. Ooh, that was delicious. I had some fried chicken today, some good old United States fried chicken. Take that, Britain. The thing about it is that in the student council, there's also some things I also don't like about student council. Is that main thing is that we keep talking about the same thing over and over and over and over again. To the point where you're literally thinking that you're in a room with special needs kids, like to the point where it just makes you feel like you're losing your sanity almost. But the thing about it is, after that, I can't even tell you how many times I said the thing about it is, like, God, I just keep repeating it over and over. I really need some help. I need to see a doctor. I need to see Dr. Filthy Frank, PhD in internet retardation. So after that, what I personally don't like about student council is that the fact that most of the kids, we just keep talking about fundraisers this, fundraisers that, and I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing. What I mean is that it gets kind of irritating after a while. Like the fact that like all you hear is fundraisers this, fundraisers that. Now, recently we just had a fundraiser about making the food pantry, where it's like the Hunger Games almost, where all the grades are like divided up into factions and whatever. And speaking of which, I hate the Hunger Games. I hate both the movies and the books. I've read all the movies, and I read all the movies. If I read all the movies, man, I'd be a genius at this point. The thing about it is, I honestly hate both the movies and the books because they're not fun movies to watch. I honestly don't care for them that much. Now, Divergent, like the first Divergent movie, I thought was really good. The second one I thought was absolutely terrible, and it's just something like that. It's movie sequels that just kind of ruin the series, just kind of as it is. And my original idea was that we were just going to get a bunch of like Nerf guns, like have a whole bunch of kids donate some Nerf guns, so then that way like all the grades would be divided up into districts. And the thing about it is that they would have like these little deathmatch things like you know, like throughout the year, like throughout the like month of October and November, and for every team that lost, they're out of the game, but they could still donate food. And after that, I also said, hey, we can also, you know, have like, and whoever wins is the one who wins, and you know, wins like a little trophy, or wins like a pizza party or something like that. Well, the thing about it is that my student council members took literally none of my idea, and they made the most bland, unoriginal possible idea to put in my student council. So basically what they did pretty much the same thing I did, is divide all the grades up into different like districts and whatever. And the thing about it is, our 8th grade just doesn't care about fundraisers at all. Like, I swear, our 8th grade just don't care about literally anything. Like, I swear, if there was a kid that just got shot in the hallway, I bet they wouldn't even care at all. Like, I swear, some of the 8th graders in my grade are absolutely selfless. And after that, they took literally none of my idea. So I'm just sitting here, just a guy talking about literally nothing. So I guess no one listens to me. I'm just riding through the 6 with my woes, and you know how that shit goes. So, I mean, I'm not saying student council is all that horrible. It's still a very useful tool, and it shows you that you're a very outspoken person, which I think is probably just one of the bigger problems in general when it comes to the United States. But also, in my opinion, I think it also is a very valiant effort for somebody who wants to make a difference in their school. But me, I personally don't feel like I make a difference in my school, but I still take it on anyway, and I tell myself every day just suck it up and just kind of move on with it. Also, I want to say something at the very end of this video, is that I want to see 15 likes. Yeah, 15 likes. I want to see that. Don't get the crap out of